friends, I'm gonna start a pet portrait commission. It's two dogs. I hope I get the names right. It's Mochi, M-O-C-H-I. I suppose it could be Mochi. I think it's Mochi because the other dog's name is Dashi, D-A-S-H-I. They're super cute. I'm gonna paint them on an 8x10. Let's get started. Alrighty, here's my 8x10 inch canvas. And as I've mentioned, it's an 1.5 inches thick. So it will stand up on its own, which is nice. I'll put either wire or a sawtooth hanger on it. And then I've written 8x10 on it, just for reference. I've already sprayed it with water, both front and back, and it's dried. And then here's Mochi and Dashi. I so hope I'm pronouncing those right. I put the two photos sent together in Photoshop. It's a greenish background. It looks a little bit better on my computer monitor than when it's printed out from my printer. And I'm going to turn this into a traceable. So that way I get the placement right. That's what Barb, who commissioned the painting, is expecting. I get the proportions right, and they'll be happy with the final portrait. So I'm gonna get that going and I'll be back. Okay, I spent about an hour and I got Mochi and Dashi transferred onto the canvas. Sometimes I paint the canvas background color first. This time I didn't think I wanted to. It's going to be a dark greenish color, and I don't really want the dark greenish color coming through on the light areas. And then we need to write the word love. I do that before I start every painting. So write love. And then I'm going to get my palette set up and I'll start painting the background. So here I've taken some Hooker's Green, it's right out of the tube, and some unbleached titanium and mixed a pile of paint with some black to get kind of a sage green. Here, I'll show you. And it's going to dry darker, and so I'll probably, I gotta make sure I don't hit that ear there. I'll be mixing some of the unbleached titanium in with it. And then I took a pile of this and moved it over and put more Hooker's Green in it and more black in it. And the reason I put more green in it is so it doesn't go just straight black. And that'll be more for the corners. And I'm just gonna do a brushy portrait looking background. And I'm probably going to stop the video here in a minute so I can get the 8x10 portrait here more under my line of vision, my line of sight. I think it's gonna be really pretty. And then the dogs will be warmer and come forward. Okay guys, I'll be back in a little while. Okay guys, take a look. So it can take longer to paint a background when you do it this way because you have to be careful of the image that's on there. But it could also take longer if I painted the whole background in the greens, and then I would need to paint the dog white and grays and then the color to make sure that the color is covered, because in this case the unbleached titanium, I think that's a fairly opaque color. But the burnt umber I'm going to use, I might use some Naples yellow. Here, I'm looking for the reference photo. Some raw sienna. That's not going to cover as well, because they're more transparent colors. And then, let's see, I was going to try and show Barb. So the ear will go over the top. And then, oh, can you see it? Oh, then that ear will go over the side. Okay, I'm gonna let this dry and then I'll start working on, tomorrow I'll start working on Mochi and Dashi. Hey friends, let's take a look at what's happened since I last videoed. I showed Barb the background and it was too green. And so I grayed it and lightened it up. It looks to me, when I look through my phone that's videoing, it looks much darker than it actually is. Yeah, I don't know if you can see it. It's videoing darker than the actual color I see. And then I've started mapping out the eye. So I'll do the eyes, the nose, the ears. Basically, so the drawing is a map. And then I sort of paint shapes that I see. There aren't any highlights in that pupil. Definitely needs some black in it and a lot more detail. But I just start mapping that out to make sure those are going in the right direction. And it's sort of like putting a puzzle together, you know, but instead of finding the edges, I find the important parts and then fill in the rest and keep going, and then come back over with another layer for even more detail. And then I'm using zinc white, unbleached titanium, raw sienna, Naples yellow, burnt umber, and black, and just mixing combinations of those. But anyway, it's starting to look good. I realized I haven't videoed me painting. Like I didn't video any of that. So these dogs' eyes here are brown, and they're hard to see in the photo. But a lot of times there's a little bit of an amber color in them. And then if Barb doesn't like it, I can always make it darker. It's easier to go darker than lighter. So I'm just putting some straight up raw sienna. And this is a little knife brush. Oh, they got a little darker than I wanted. So I just kind of play with the color a little bit. I know I'm going to come back with another layer. And really the eye color is going to be darker up here. I'm just going to put some straight up raw sienna in there for now. And then maybe lighten it with just a smidge of the Naples yellow as I come around, because there's a shadow from the eyelid. You can tell when I talk slower and stop more, I'm thinking more about painting. That's probably why I didn't film any, because I really want to concentrate on getting it right. And talking and painting isn't my strong suit. That's looking pretty good. And if you're Barb or family watching this, don't worry. I'm just sort of mapping out like I mentioned before. Just getting some color down, getting some values down, so I make sure I keep things where they're supposed to be. And then try not to rest my hand or move my hand too much on the chalk pastel map that I have drawn on here, because I don't want to lose that. But you can see I don't, this is a little brush, and I don't like whip it out. Pet portraits take quite a while. Actually, I want to put in more of a gray so I can get the shadow of the eye. And I come back with more color. And then I'm going to need to put highlights in the eye. Well, I'm thinking, I don't know, I was thinking that pupil looked a little small, but it might be just right, actually. Gotta kind of check the angle. There's a dark, where is that? There's a dark spot right there that I want to make sure I don't forget, because I think that'll add as I build the eye up with layers. I think that'll add a nice little touch. Okay, this could end up, so a painting like this, so one dog on an 8x10 would take me 8 to 10 hours. I just said 8x10. It'd take me about 9 hours. 2 dogs, we're talking maybe 20 hours, but I can let you know. I can start tracking my time and let you guys know how long this takes. Alrighty, I'll be back after a little bit. I wanted to pop in and talk about something that came to mind. So I'm starting on the nose. The eyes are roughed in. They're starting to look pretty good. And I'm starting on the nose here. And a good strategy is to start with your black, if you're going to use black, in the darkest area, because the values are more important than the color. And you'll want to build out from the darkest dark, or you could start with the lightest light. But on this photo, there's not much light on Mochi's nose. So the darkest darks are right there. And everybody sees color a little differently. Some people will see this more yellow or goldy, and some people will see it more brown. So values are really important when you're painting. That's what really makes it work. Anyway, I just wanted to talk about a good strategy is to start with the dark, and then build out the values from there. Okay, guys, I just wanted to pop in and say that so I didn't forget. Alrighty, I'm looking at this through my video camera, my phone. I never know what to call that. I always stumble over that. Anyway, it looks better than it does in person because it smooths it out a little bit. But basically what I'm doing is I'm finding landmarks. I wanted to pop in and show you some progress. But sometimes it can be easier or easiest to, hang on a second, I'm thinking. There's black right there. To find your darkest areas too. So not only make sure the nose and the eyes are the right shape, they're not nearly that light underneath there, but I'm just getting this is definitely an underpainting. I'm just getting the color under it, and then I'll come back and smooth it out, gray it out. It can be really helpful to find some major landmarks in the different parts of the dog, cat, whatever you're painting. So that's really grayish. I want that darker. This is straight up Mars Black, which I'm not using a ton of. And then it kind of grays. Coming around here. Oop. A little white. It's a little dry. It doesn't look very gray, does it? Let's grab some straight up white. Put a little gray on it. Clean off my brush. There we go. And then it's dark. Okay, right. So I'm looking at this photo. Let's see if I can kind of get it in here. I don't know if I can get it in there so you can see what I don't have enough real estate on the video here. See what I'm doing. So I look at the photo to make sure I'm in the right spot. I'm close to the right values. Values meaning light, dark. The values are more important than the color. I think I've mentioned that in other videos. Of course, here the color is important because I'm painting a pet portrait. And that kind of just goes almost horizontal. And then I may make this ear, right now, as I said, I'm just mapping out different parts of the landscape. But I also may make this ear darker. So this dog is a darker dog, especially on this side of the face. Or I may make this side of the face a little lighter because I want to bring the face more forward than the ear. Anyway, I wanted to pop in, show you what I'm up to. I'm probably not going to film a bunch of long sections of me painting just because it's going to be a really long video. And I'll be back with more progress. Hey guys, thought I'd show you how far I've gotten. I'm working on Dashi now. And it can look kind of funny because I just doing the same thing as I was doing for Mochi. Just underpainting and making sure I have all the, I call them landmarks. Have them painted in, suggested. So I'm just looking at my reference photo. That looks like it's a little warmer, orangier. Of course, then I'm gonna cover it up. And a little lighter. Actually, I should get the black around the eye. That would help. Oh, and then there's like a little dark area here. Where does that go? Kind of goes like this. So basically, I just talk myself through it, like you can kind of hear me doing it. Looking at the photo. Look at how the color I put down, see how that looks. Oh, that is lighter there. Oh, do any of you have pets? I like to call them furry loved ones or fuzzy loved ones. Post a photo in the comments. I'd love to see them. I have a cat and I really like her company. She's usually in here with me when I'm painting, just hanging out in my studio. Sometimes I refer to her as the president and CEO of my art business. Her name is Freckles, but we call her all kinds of nicknames. Okay, guys, I want to work on the eye, and I need to turn the canvas and get my head on top of it. That sounds funny. I need to get in here, and I can't with my phone videoing. I'll be back in a little while. Hi, friends. Take a look. Dashi's coming together. Still working on the underpainting. That's probably the longest part of the pet portrait process. But looking way better. The nose is browner, but it has pink undertones. So I think I'll glaze over it with some brown. I just wanted to pop that so you can see how it's coming along. Oh, and I have my reference photo here. That's probably what you hear. So I'm just using raw sienna, Naples yellow, burnt umber, black, portrait pink with burnt umber. Makes a really good undercolor for that nose. And then I'm trying to make it, there's some golds. I'm trying to make it a little bit more brown for Dashi. And then I just look at my reference photo and I didn't like that color, so I changed it. And just paint the shapes I see. So just work in little sections and paint the shapes. Which I think I've mentioned maybe 3 times now. I'll have to go back and look at the video clips. Sorry if I've mentioned it a bunch of times. I may work on this one day, work on something else the next day. I forget what I said to you guys. So I want a little of that color right there, and then I want it darker right here. And then when I come back over it with another layer, I'll have more sort of fur brush strokes. That was a weird sentence. You can tell I'm painting sort of fur brush strokes. I'll have brush strokes in the direction of the fur. So you'll have to let me know if you like this video. I think most of my pet portrait videos on YouTube are time-lapse. So you see more of it, see me painting more of it, but it's really fast. Let me know if you like this better, because there's not a whole lot of different comments to make at this point, because it's two dogs. You know, I go through the same process on both of them. Okay, I'll be back with more progress. So take a look at where I am. I have everything mapped out in color now. Before I had it mapped out with a sketch, and now I have it mapped out with color. I don't know if I can show you because this is a pretty big painting. It's an 8x10. I've painted, there you can kind of see, I painted over the sides. And then I just brought what's gonna be a wider patch. I don't know exactly where it goes. I can't see in my reference photo, but I just brought it around the bottom. Same with the chest of Mochi. I so hope I'm saying Mochi right. And then I've added some more pinks. There's too much pink here, but I'm gonna go back over everything. So what I'm gonna do next, oh, and here's my palette, just so you can see. Pretty soon I'm gonna put out fresh paints. It's still working well, but I've been working on this maybe a couple weeks, I'm not sure. I haven't been tracking my time, and I just work on it if I can every day. Sometimes I can't every day. And then here's my reference photo just to show you again. And the light's actually coming from up and under. You can even see the highlight in the eye is kind of low, but there also is a little light from above, from this way. So I'm gonna paint it as close to this as I can, because that's what Barb is expecting. But you can see this is much more shapes and lines, and I need to smooth out all these lines. I need to make like Dashi's eyes. Need a lot more dark around them. The nose needs to be darker. Same with Mochi. Here, can you see the eyes? And then these eyes need to be darker. Anyway, I wanted to show you what I'm up to. So I think so I originally started this with Mochi's eyes, and I think I'm gonna go back to that. She's got, or she or he, actually I don't know, has dark brown, which I've got pretty good here. But like this area right here with the yellow is much more subtle. So I'm almost thinking of, and I'm using a liner brush. So I'm thinking, I don't know, kind of that brown maybe? Maybe a little lighter, put a little unbleached titanium in it. So acrylics dry darker, so it's a little bit of a guessing game, but they're easy to paint over. So you can always come back and make it darker, or you can make it lighter. Well, and I'm thinking I need to actually lighten it up right there. Let's see what color this is. That's pretty close. Oh, that might be too light. But she's got kind of a speckly look to the fur right there. I think that might be a decent color for in here. So I'm just kind of dabbing on some color to kind of tone it down. I don't know if that's toning it down either. You just kind of play with it. Look at your reference photo, play with it some more. Go slow. Okay, you see what I'm doing? Oh, okay. Listen, I wondered if I was on camera. So actually here, I think some straight up black. Let's see, what do I want to do? Well, maybe not straight up black. You can tell I'm thinking. Oh, it's not dark enough either. But that's way better. I think it's still a little too bright, but I may let it dry. Well, and the other thing too is, oh, I guess I don't know exactly what I want to say is, I mean, that's kind of a muted printout for my computer anyway. So a little brighter in this area might be just fine. Colors are interesting. I don't know if I've mentioned this recently. Everybody sees color a little differently. You know, some people see colors bluer, warmer, redder, or they don't see red, or, you know, if they're colorblind, like red, is it red-green colorblind? They won't see any of that. Or maybe they see a little bit, I actually don't know, for sure. But it's challenging. And then when it's backlit, like if you view this on a monitor, it's gonna look more luminescent. It's gonna have a little bit more glow to it than when you look at the actual painting. But the painting will have more depth. Oh boy, I don't know how to describe all this stuff. It's interesting because, you know, everybody will see it differently, and it just, I can't photograph it or video it to look exactly like the final painting. So this part will go just as slow. Sometimes it goes kind of quicker and slower, but usually the eyes I'm really particular with. And what looks like the right color on my white palette, a lot of times isn't quite light enough or dark enough. I know there it's too light. Okay, guys, I just kind of wanted you to see how I do this, how I think about it. These two dogs actually, you might think they'd be easy, but there's so much subtle detail. I wouldn't start with a dog like this. Sometimes, I'm trying to think what would be an easy dog. A Dalmatian could be easy unless they have a bunch of spots. Actually, corgis can be pretty easy because you could paint them, you know, they have like distinct lines and you could paint them brush strokey. I've got a corgi on my online store in the pet portrait section. That might be a good one, especially like a tan and white one. I think that one might be easier. Okay guys, I'm gonna work on this eye and I'll come back after I make some more progress. I've been working on Mochi's eyes and nose area, and I hope you can see when I look through my video on my phone, it's looking really good. It's looking more like that. And then I wanted to show you, so you do not have to do this if you paint pet portraits. But I just keep mixing various shades of brown and black and cream, and I just kind of keep working in the puddle here. That's where he's starting to dry on me. But so I'm just, there's just like I don't think it's the photo, I think it's the way Mochi looks. There's just little flecks of gray around the eye. So I just keep building black and a little lighter, a little darker. So I just keep putting teeny tiny little dots. Now, this isn't something you have to do for a pet portrait. But actually, I think it starts to look, I mean, those eyes are really starting to pop and look great. The highlights really help. I can always make them darker if Barb wants them darker. I thought I would show you what I'm up to. Well, in here, there is a light area on Mochi's nose right there, right there. It's not that light, but that little pop. I don't know, can you see that? I can't tell if you can see that. This little pop really can make it kind of fun. Sort of makes the painting dance a little more, even though that's not actually how it looks in the photo. So this is pointillism, the way I'm painting right now. Well, that's pretty much because that's how the photo looks. And I'm thinking I needed a little darker in there. I'm not sure anything's even coming off of my brush there. Let's try this again. So it's Mars Black, Burnt Umber, and a little bit of unbleached titanium white. That might be too light. No, not really. So this would drive some artists crazy. It's just totally up to how you want to do it, what you like. I just wanted to show you what I'm doing. So I try to make the pet portrait look as much like the photo I can, but still have artistic touches, some brush strokes. Normally I don't do quite this detailed work, but I definitely want it to look like Mochi. But anyway, I think if you compare this, I mean, I've just smoothed out pretty much the eyes, the nose on Mochi, and I haven't done anything on Dashi for a while. But you can see how the underpainting, like I have too much pink here, but there's just a little pink popping up through here. Really makes it, I think. The layers are what makes it in acrylic painting. So I think almost in any painting, really. Okay, guys, getting late. So I will make some more progress and then come back later. Take a look at where I am. I've been working on Dashi's eyes, and then I'm working on, so in this photo, there's kind of a speckly look to it, graying out some of the underpainting that I've grayed this out a little bit here. I'm gonna start working on the nose. The nose is much browner than what I have here. So if you do a pet portrait, it's like doing a puzzle. I'm not sure if I mentioned, the reason I hesitated there, I wasn't sure if I mentioned that before. You just keep piecing it out. And then the layers, which I know I've mentioned before, really help. So I'm gonna just start putting some brown on top and see how it looks, or actually maybe make a little dark brown black here. So this is Mars Black and this is Burnt Umber. Even though it doesn't really look that way in the photo, I think I'm gonna need the contrast. So let's put a little where I have the dark brown right now. So this is kind of where I'm combining, see, this reference photo doesn't look as black, but I've got another one reference photo taped to my wall right in front of me, which is much darker. So I'm kind of combining the two to get a little more contrast, because this one's kind of flat. Let's make it look a little more interesting, a little more realistic and painterly at the same time. Yeah, that's probably not very helpful. Like, how do you do that? It looks painterly because I'm hand painting it, so that kind of inherently happens, unless you get ultra real with it. I'm not an ultra realistic painter. These dogs are very short hair, so you don't have a ton of brush strokes. So I don't, like in other videos, if you watch them, I mention that brush stroke direction matters. In this one, it matters a little. It'll matter down in here. I can see some of the fur on Dashi. But up here, it looks really short. All right, and I'm just gonna maybe even add a little pink into there. Okay, that got, can you see that? Where I'm mixing here? See if it's off camera. That got kind of light. Well, that might be okay. Might be better to go light and then keep building. Well, that might actually be lighter than I want. I'd like, so the trick is gonna be, maybe I need a darker pink. This portrait pink is perfect color, but it may not totally show through as I darken up this nose. So this video has two purposes really. One's for Dashi, Mochi and Dashi's family to see the portrait come to life. And then the other purpose is just for those who want to paint pet portraits or do paint pet portraits. Every artist does it different. Excuse me. So I think it's kind of neat to see the progress. Here's some of my thoughts, that kind of thing. So I'm just kind of scrubbing a little bit with this is a little knife brush, just to kind of blend. My goal is to make the nose darker. So I'm looking at my reference photo on the wall. I'm just kind of putting a little paint down. It's so funny, I really didn't think I was gonna, I suppose I'm technically a YouTube channel. I am a YouTube channel. I have a channel on YouTube. It was just a place to store my videos, but I'm getting followers every day, which is really fun. And I'm not getting a lot of comments yet, but if there's anything you want me to paint or anything that doesn't make sense, please leave comments. And it doesn't have to be on YouTube. It could be on Facebook. It could be on Instagram. The two best places are Facebook and YouTube to follow and comment. I do have a blog on my website, but I don't know that that many people look at it. But it's a nice record too. If someone happens to look at my website, it's a nice record of what I've been working on. But please leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you want to see more of. I really appreciate it. I'm probably going to turn off the video here pretty soon because this pet portrait is so detailed and these dogs are very detailed. When I talk, I'm not thinking as much about the painting. But I feel like I need to talk to entertain you guys. I don't want you to be bored. I want you to be bored to tears. Alrighty. So anyway, Mochi's looking really good. Might be done. Oh, here, I should show you. The ear just goes right over. Oh, here, can you see it? Sorry, it goes right over the top. And then I did paint the bottom. This one, Mochi's done. Dashi's just roughed in. Oh, and then Dashi will go over onto the side. I don't know if you can see that. It's awfully close to the camera. Okay. Hey, just a quick pop in here to show you the progress. I'm not going to paint on video just because I went back and checked all the video clips I've taken of this pet portrait, and it's getting long. So I've got Dashi's nose is darker, the eyes are looking way better. I've been working on this ear. I still need to work on the forehead, the ear, the sides of the body. There's quite a bit left to do, maybe a little over half. Anyway, I wanted you to take a look, see how it's looking, and I'll pop back in again when I make more progress. Hey, I think I'm done. I'll leave it in my studio for a couple days before I show Barb. And I've got this reference photo that's loose, and then I've got another one taped up on the wall so I can kind of compare them. The reference photo I showed you is lighter. The one I've got up on the wall is a little darker. I didn't want to do the completely dark one because I want the eyes to come out more. A little bit of the details in the nose to come out more. Anyway, I thought I'd show you. So this is an 8x10 canvas, 1.5 inches deep. The ear goes a little bit over the top. And then Dashi, I don't know if I can show you, because my phone's so close. Dashi goes over the side. I'm really loving it. I think it looks great. I hope Barb loves it, and I hope it's a Christmas present, so I won't be posting this video. I'm painting it at the end of September. I won't be posting it till really close to Christmas time because I don't want to ruin the surprise. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you liked this. I hope this helped a little bit. Let me know in the comments. Please subscribe to YouTube. I'm hoping to put out a lot more content, more traceables, more art tips. I really appreciate your support. Follow me on Facebook. That's where I do giveaways. That's a great place to connect with me too. And I hope to chat with you soon. Bye, guys.